In the previous lesson, we have discussed segmentation, which divides the market into segments of customers with similar needs and preferences. Subsequently, a company needs to select its target segments and to define the value it's going to offer to the target segments. The most interesting segment to target is economically attractive with high sales volume, high sales value, and positive growth trends. It should be consistent with the company's competitive advantage and long-term strategy. If a segment is economically attractive, but the company is not highly competitive in the business area, the company would need high investment and commitment if it wants to serve these segments. Small companies usually would pursue one or a few segments instead of the whole market. Serving a single segment with highly customizable products allow a company to build extensive customer knowledge, to develop intimate customer relationship, and potentially to obtain high profit from sales. On the other hand, the company needs to have strong competitive advantage and reputation in order to do so. Focusing on a single segment can be riskier than serving a few well-selected segments. For a company having strong know-how in a specific product category, it could follow a product specialization strategy, identifying different market segments which can be served with this product. For companies having strong relationship with a specific group of customers, it can serve this market segment with a range of products leveraging on its knowledge of these customers. After having identified the segments to target, the company will complete its marketing strategy by identifying the value to offer. Comparing the different options of the same type of product, most of the time it cannot be defined that one is absolutely superior than the other. While brand A could have better craftsmanship, brand B has more fashionable design. Such features could have a higher value for customers who recognize them and who appreciate them. The customer who prefers craftsmanship over fashion would be willing to pay more for brand A than for brand B. The process of identifying relevant value to be offered is positioning, the last step of defining marketing strategy. The key of positioning is the creation of differentiation or unique selling points which are valuable for the target markets. There are various sources of differentiation. A company may differentiate itself with tangible attributes such as functional performance of the product, benefits derived from process, or economic benefits. For example, a vacuum cleaner could outperform its competitors with higher suction power or longer operation with a full battery charge. A company like Amazon stands out from competition because of its process so that it can deliver customers' orders faster. Besides tangible attributes, a company could also appeal to its customers with intangible values. For example, video games provide emotional experience to the players, such as excitement and escapism, rather than computer codes and graphic design. Luxurious cars provide customers the image aspired by others, rather than mobility itself. Social benefits, such as supporting the less privileged, supporting charitable causes, being environmentally friendly, are valued by more and more customers. For example, thermal bottles used to be positioned with functional benefits that they keep the temperature of your hot or cold drinks. Recently, several brands have rebranded thermal bottles as a choice of environmentally friendly lifestyle, replacing the use of plastic bottles. Differentiation in tangible attributes are mostly associated with products' basic functionalities, while intangible attributes appeal to customers' emotions, values, and beliefs. The basic functionalities of a product are indispensable. However, the bond of emotion, values, and beliefs could be stronger and more powerful. Therefore, the intangible values must be supported by the tangible values in the product, while the tangible values can be strengthened and enhanced by the intangible values. We emphasize that both tangible and intangible values must be perceived and be relevant to the target segments. Therefore, in order to position a product, we have to first identify what factors are relevant and important for the target customers when they purchase this type of product. For example, when we purchase detergent, we may first consider the cleaning efficacy of the product. Some of us prefer higher efficacy because they often deal with persistent stains. For others, high efficacy might not be necessary. We may also consider the smell of the product as it influences the usage experience. Some of us may prefer a chemical smell as we associate chemical smell with efficacy. Some others may prefer a natural smell such as fruity or floral as it is more pleasant. There is no right or wrong, good or bad in such perception, as it is up to the needs and preference of the customers. Next, we can leverage on tools such as the perceptual map to visualize the position of the competitors and the potential position of our product. We can also visualize the number and the size of competitors to understand the level of competition in different areas. Ideally, we should avoid the areas that are already crowded with competitors and choose the area on the perceptual map that are unoccupied. Before deciding on the positioning, be sure that the positioning precisely addresses the target segment and can be perceived simply and clearly by the customers in the segment. The positioning must be feasible and consistent with the company's capabilities and long-term objective. And the positioning should not be easily imitable by competitors. By segmentation, targeting, and positioning, we have defined the company's marketing strategy.